Good Morning Night Vale is brought to you by The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine, a new independently produced and crowdfunded 10-episode original audio drama. Set in a deceptively familiar world of electronic surveillance and machine-mediated communication, The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine follows Lydia Ryan and her friends, lovelorn Ethan and wannabe internet sensation Dee, as they struggle to unravel the mystery of her mother's disappearance. Escape the sinister Fontaine family, and survive the feud over her grandfather's supernatural legacy. It weaves bitter family drama and high-stakes intrigue with fantasy and cyberpunk elements to create a surreal mystery about secrets and grudges, old books, big data, and the promise of infinite knowledge. And do not forget the talking birds. It's a full-cast production with original music and a bespoke soundscape presented through a series of found-footage-style surveillance recordings. And it's important to note, this show was made entirely without generative AI. Even the computers are voiced by human actors. Episodes are free, and you can start listening right now with the Season 1 finale due to come out on August 16th. For more information, go to lydiadisappears.com. and find The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine wherever you get your podcasts and start listening from the beginning.
Insurance isn't one size fits all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy, or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find coverage that fits your life, on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun.
It does not stop.
Good morning, Night Vale.
Hello, I'm Hal Lublin, also known sometimes as Steve Carlsberg.
And I'm Symphony Sanders, a.k.a. Tamika Flynn.
And I am Meg Bashwiner, sometimes known as Mom. Actually, she doesn't talk yet, so. Also known as Deb, the sentient patch of haze. Also known as your friend and tri-host on this lovely podcast, Good Morning Night Vale, which is a podcast that recaps the podcast Welcome to Night Vale. And we're doing it for you tonight, episode 99. And it is Monday, November 22nd at 9:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's us.
Good to know where we are. And where we are in this episode description is station intern Kareem writes home and receives an unexpected reply. Let's talk about it.
Boy, does he.
Wow. Wowie, wow, wow. We go through a journey. I expected issues to arise when he wrote home to Michigan. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. But when he wrote home, but then he starts getting issues calling home. And it goes down a rabbit hole. And there's memory and things that are issues. And I would love to talk about like what we think about all that. Because it's all timey-wimey and placey-wacey and like you can't see it on a map.
But then you can get back there. There's a lot of layers.
Right.
And it's like, is Night Vale
the plane?
Is Night Vale in America? Is Night Vale in the America that we know? Or is there another dimension? It's sort of peeling back all of those layers of like, how is it possible that Michigan is a place and Michigan is a place and Kareem is there and not there? And when he tries to leave, he ends up back in Night Vale. But if he tries really hard, he can leave, but he just ends up where he thinks he's supposed to be. It's
right.
It's pretty difficult.
Yeah, I think there's been mounting evidence over the past 98 episodes that Night Vale and its surrounding areas exist in a nexus where they obey different rules, whether it's a pocket dimension, whether it's a spoke of the multiverse where all these different points meet. And as a Marvel fan, this is a great time to be talking about multiverses.
That's right.
This is just further proof. Time works differently. If you leave and come back, it's different. We have Kareem who's writing and calling home where he already is, but with slight differences, like is the tattoo a salamander or a lizard? There are all these things that show that he is a different, much like there are multiple Spider-Men in the Marvel universe.
I believe it's pronounced Spider-Mang.
Spider-Mang. Spider's Mang. There are also multiple Kareem. We're in the Kareem-verse right now. We've gone into the Kareem-verse.
Are we incepted? We're like incepted into Kareem-verse. But yeah, like, and when that's why I do believe, similar to what you said, that like it sits just adjacent to maybe what we know as America. Because like some of the things are the same, like obviously the country we know, like in Night Vale knows they're in America. And I'm like, cool. They're in the Southwest. Cool. And some places exist, but apparently not Ohio either. like Ohio and Michigan do not exist in Night Vale's America, but Canada does.
But this all just proves that this is a parallel dimension. Because all of the things are there. There's Arby's, there's Ralph's, all these different things that we would recognize from our universe are also in Night Vale. But they're different. You're not going to that Arby's for a roast beef and cheddar. So all these things that would be, that for us are abnormal are for them normal. And if they came to our universe, and again, if it's a nexus point where all these different multiverses meet, then it's more likely that they would visit all these places they haven't heard of. They've heard of more places than have heard of them, even if they're not familiar, like Michigan.
Yeah. But Cecil said something interesting when he was talking about the plane taking someone somewhere. He was like, oh, no, I don't think, just like we said many episodes ago, I don't think Cecil's actually been anywhere.
No, he's never been to Spitz or Lublin.
Well, I've never been to Spitz.
But like, he was like, oh yeah, like Kareem said about like that launched off. What is that called? Take off. God, what is wrong with me? I literally travel for a living most of the time. Lift off, bitch. Are you in the space program? Damn. No, but like when you take off, and like he always ended up back in Night Vale. Now, was that because he was thinking of Night Vale, or was that because he tried to go to Detroit, tried to go to Chicago, which is where I live. Yeah. So apparently Chicago doesn't exist. Or maybe it's just like there's the idea of America out there, but like Cecil has no interest in learning what it is. Also.
There is a part of that. There's sort of having knowledge and exploring is kind of frowned upon in Night Vale. But also I imagine him when he goes on vacations, it's sort of like Total Recall, where they just implant the memories in his brain. Obviously his mind and his memories and his life experience have been messed with a great deal. And you get a little taste of that every time he's with Earl Hanlon.
Yes. And just a little caveat to that. And we are speaking of the Total Recall starring former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, not the Colin Farrell version.
I never even watched that shit because I was like, "Boo, Colin Farrell."
2 weeks.
Right? So dumb. But there's something about Arnie being like when he lands on when he's on the surface and he's like, "Ah,
we got to get to Mars. We're going to Mars. All right, everybody."
when he's like choking for air and his eyes start bulging out, I'm like, what the hell?
Because anyway. He hasn't put his hand in the alien thing to make the ice caps melt, and then all of a sudden there's oxygen. He's just like, that's literally the noise he's making.
Well, that is what happens to Cecil when he thinks he's going to Schwitz. He's getting doped up and put in some sort of re-education center that, like, I'm imagining, like, he like lays in a room where they like peel your eyes open a la Clockwork Orange and show you videos like what schwitz, right? Vacation stuff. And you're just like, it's like, you had a great time. So anytime anybody asks you about it, that's what like, they're like, I remember there were boats. I had a great time. What do you think about that, Meg?
What do I think about that? There's a lot of stuff in this episode that is like sort of definitively Night Vale. So I think for me, the way I was looking at it was like there's a lot of like definitively Night Vale-y things happening in this episode. And then it's sort of like juxtaposed with the outside world of Michigan. So it's like kind of firmly placing Night Vale in the other while reaching out to our reality. So there's like the thing where with just even like in the first paragraph where Kareem wants to tell his family about all the stuff that he's been reporting on. And the stuff that he's been reporting on are like, satanic beagle puppies and dragons and the strangers, and then also just the reopening of the laser tag center. So it's like this very Night Vale thing of all this bizarre is in equal proportion to a laser tag reopening. And the same thing with the dragons behind the Ralphs. So it's like the dragons have kind of moved in behind the Ralphs, but we're fine with it. Even though they're killing people because they're paying for their food. Yeah, so it is like the just sort of the very mundane is ordinary thing that Night Vale's doing, while we have this extraordinary thing of of Michigan or Michigan. And the experience that Kareem's having trying to leave or reach back towards that life that maybe he was in before. I don't know. I get real confused. I get like a real bad headache whenever multiverse happens.
Well, I will tell you something that deeply unsettled me was when he did get back home, when he was talking to his family. And they were being real cagey. Did anybody get like weirdly like, this is sus? Because they were like, we're just glad you're home. And like that stuff, like if I hadn't been seen in a long time and I came home and my family, like my brother, and he's like, I haven't heard from you in months. And I was like, well, did you get my letters, all this stuff? Like, and he'd be like, what the hell happened? He wouldn't be like, just like, it doesn't matter. Let's just move forward. You're here, type thing. They wouldn't just let it go. Like my friends and family would be like, if I just didn't like dropped off the face of the earth, Meg, and then all of a sudden popped up and was like, oh my God, this and that happened. Wouldn't you be like, what the hell, bitch? Where have you been?
I'd be like, let's talk about it. Not like, let's, go walk around Ulta for 45 minutes. Yeah. I mean, they are sort of like, I don't know if they're like placating or they're like minimizing or they're not experiencing it the same way he is. But it is a little bit suspect that they're just totally chill about it. Then there's the whole Michael Sandero thing where it's like,
right.
No, this didn't happen. We're like, no, we did know this. So yeah, there's sort of the back and forth of whether Michael Sandero is there and playing football and they're winning.
So like maybe Michael Sandero went to a different like
Michigan.
Like Michigan.
Michigan.
I find, okay, as a almost not lifelong, but most of my lifelong Midwesterner, the Michigan jokes fucking kill me. Like, because Michigan is like, the murder mitten.
You're supposed to hate Michigan, right?
Oh, no, I don't care if it crap about Michigan. Like I'm not in a feud with Michigan. That's what I mean. I enjoy Michigan. But I call it the murder mitten because it's got the mitten part at the bottom. But then the UP looks like a gun. So
have we talked about the Upers on this podcast before? The Upper Peninsula of Michigan is called the Upers. And there is a comedy band called the Upers that put out a bunch of albums. I think there's still some version of them still performing, go to YouTube. Do yourself a favor when we're done recording, and everybody who's listening can look at this also. Go check out a little video by the Youpers, called, the name of it is A Love Song Called Diarrhea. And that's all I'm going to say about it. You're going to want to check that out, the full long form version, because it was made at a time when they were telling stories. This is like the new, the new Taylor Swift, was it All Too Well? But it's every time I think about the Upper Peninsula I think about that, and the guy on TikTok who's always like, "Hello, buddy. Today we're gonna make some hot dogs by the fire and have some cold pop." And he's got Verner's. He's got like that very specific to Michigan. This guy, you don't know this guy? Old time hockey. Oh,
no, our For You pages are very different. How
he lives in like a cabin in the woods in the Youpers, in that area, and he is with his dog.
I thought the people were called Youpers and the area was called just the UP, but I'm a Southerner compared to them. All I know about the UP is that they really like fishing, ice fishing, and being in the woods and stuff, which is not really my forte.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good at I'm like hiking. That's fun. But then I go out of the woods. I'm not like trying to like be there.
Yeah. This dude lives in the woods.
Yeah, no. Not
and
like
he's
that.
Very like, it's the weirdest, like somebody's like, my hamster exploded. Can you play some NHL on the Genesis with me? And just, it always started, of course, buddy. We're going to make some hot fudge sundaes. And then it's him like making the food. And then after this, now we're going to play some hockey. The Red Wings versus the Canucks. And then they get into a fight. It's like, they're having a disagreement. Okay, buddy. Take care of yourselves. And then he goes. And it's very calming. And sometimes I'll drop in on people's lives. I dropped in on his lives. And I dropped in on a live he was doing just to ask him about the Youpers, the band. To see if he knew them. He's like, hey, buddy, yeah, my grandfather used to listen to him. I'm like, I bet he did. Because all their songs are like, farting while hunting, that kind of stuff. And a love song called Diarrhea, available on YouTube.
All right.
Did I take
Sounds like something I'd be into.
You might be. It's really
something. I learned a fact about Michigan today.
What did you learn?
You're never more than 6 miles from water wherever you are in the state of Michigan because there are over 11,000 lakes.
Yes, there's lots of lakes there. But yeah, that's great. Isn't that on their thing? Or is that Minnesota?
That's the land of 1,000 lakes.
This has 11 times that many lakes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of lakes.
A lot of lakes.
A lot of lakes.
A lot of ice fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we move forward in this episode, there's some other issues that are going on besides Kareem's jumping in to the Marvel Cinematic Universe or whatever the hell. Old woman Josie is back to bowling, babes. And the Angels, they're cheating. They're making her roll them strikes.
Is it cheating?
I mean, if they don't exist, I guess not. It's a hidden force.
Yeah, they're not touching it.
They're just guiding it with their
minds. They're like
omniscient powers.
I think it should be fine for Josie. I think that's fair. Given, winter rules,
Yeah, I mean, if you knew an old lady was like down in the dumps before and she's trying to get back to her activities, just give her a little pass. I would let Josie win some games.
Yeah, I like that she's rallied in this episode. And we're like, I wrote down Josie. Gonna make it? ?
Well, who knows? As you said before, she's Chekhov's old woman. You think so? But on the heels of last episode where Violet Head was shot, we get a little update, but not really. Nobody's really seen Hiram since then. And Hadassah, like you said, and the other dragons are out, not back of the Ralphs. They're like under the Ralphs.
They're like under the Ralphs. They're making heat that's making the lettuce wilt.
Aw.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, that's a bummer. But they...
I like that all the dragons have Jewish names.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Hiram, Hadassah. Well, Hadassah could be a Sabra. It could also be just a general for that area.
And then Miriam.
Hadassah specifically. Miriam, very Jewish. Yeah, that's like super. Everybody has a Miriam in their family somewhere. Grandmother, great aunt. And now it's come back around where like those names can be used again.
My mother-in-law's dog is Mary.
Isn't the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, isn't her name Miriam?
Yes. The next season's coming soon.
So pumped. Well, I am also pumped to figure out what the heck happened to Hiram. I hope the rest of his heads are okay. I don't know what the heck they're going to do. I'm scared and sad still about that whole thing. But, we're not going to get any more updates in this episode. Speaking of, we're having these issues, right? But like the friggin' city council and station management, did they break up or are they going to break?
There's something, there's like a little bit of a sore spot there. I think maybe station management was a little too clingy.
Oh, they seem really hurt.
It happens. People can.
It does. I was just happy for those beings who had found each other and found something in each other. And then, I'm a Libra. I'm all about like people loving and being in love. And it makes me sad when people fall out of love. I know it happens, obviously. But I don't know. Maybe it's also when you don't have like a side to choose. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Love.
I'm just like, oh, I want people to be happy and in love. That's nice.
But that doesn't make for good podcasting, Symphony.
I guess not. Where's the drama in that, I guess? In people just being happy and satisfied?
We're telling a story here. Everyone's got to change. We can have no stasis.
And suffer.
That's true.
It just gave me an idea. I'm like, I want to try to make something where no one changes and it's still interesting.
Where like everybody's just happy and like going about, I
wonder how long you can sustain that. Just like
there's
make
always
it enjoyable
little struggles. Yeah, I don't know. Huh.
Is there entertainment value in something where nothing changes and nothing happens? Is that Seinfeld?
But can that actually exist though? Like even in the best of situations, that's not real, right? Because everything.
But, Game of Thrones isn't real.
I guess so.
That's not a historical document? Damn it.
Anyway, we're making good podcast here. And when we make good podcasts, there's got to be relationship tension between the city council and station management.
Yes.
And city council is out. I love how it's like we need more funding for the schools because it's gotten really intense. And city council is just like later days because that's just who we are.
Yeah, they just run away at the slightest inconvenience. They're like, confrontation, any sort of issues for me, I'm going for sun and warmth, which honestly, not a bad, I've been working on that recently. When I'm sad, I want to go someplace warm and nice and it'll make me feel better. But you can only run away so long, city council, minus Tamika Flynn. You can only run away so long.
Exactly. Like your
problems will still be there.
If you're scared of being in a relationship but you're traveling farther away, you're still in a relationship. There's just more distance. So you can't run from a problem that's inside you.
Yeah, wherever you go, there you are.
The calls coming from inside the house, baby.
Yeah, those travel extremely well. Unfortunately.
Got to confront that stuff. And even if it's like hurtful and hurt your heart sometimes, you got to do it. And you'll be stronger for it later on. Life lessons.
That's right.
From Good Morning Night Vale, babes.
Don't you sometimes wish you could take a vacation from yourself, though?
Yes.
If I could peel my skin off, I sure would. Just for like a second. Even though I think I'm great. You know what I mean? Like, I think generally I'm doing it to them. But sometimes I would like to just dissolve into a mist and go and like be like, goodbye. Now, if I could astral project, babes, you'd never see me again.
It's on.
You'll never see me again. But honestly, I hope the Glow Cloud gets that funding because we have taken on quite a few new childrens into Night Vale, and they need to be educated. Education is important for children.
Everyone hates a dumb kid.
Yeah. It's bleh.
Dumb. Don't bring that dumbass kid over here.
Yeah.
Keep that.
I'll be like,
kid.
get out of here, dumb kid.
This was my thought when I was listening to this episode. I was like, if there's a second Kareem or a third Kareem or like an infinite number of Kareems and infinite numbers of Michigans, I'm like, is there another Cecil? So yeah, there would have to be, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
Night Vale, there's an infinite number of Night Vales that exist. And there's other Cecils that exist. And maybe they interchange between each other. And
Whoa.
If it's like a Deep Space Nine or like a way station or this nexus point where all these things combine, then maybe there's only one Night Vale, but all these different branch realities spring out from it. What if?
Well, that could be supported by a lot of the doors and stuff that we've found to other areas. Like, I'm having a mishmash of different things in my head right now. In between, like the Dark Tower series, where there was doors and you could go into like different worlds and whatever. To like, did you ever see that show? I think it's Enchanted. I think that's what it's called. Anyways, their town was like shrouded by like magic or whatever,
Yes.
so nobody could get in.
Yeah.
And like, if you went out, you would like forget that it existed. Like there was like a curse on the town or whatever, and you would forget that it existed, and you'd turn around and there wouldn't be like the sign and you couldn't see anybody. So I think that is also a possibility. And people just like, that's how, maybe Carlos got there. He like stumbled in, it's like a place that doesn't exist on any map except for in Night Vale. Who knows? It could be any sort of weird, strange, timey-wimey. And honestly, friends, fans, that's where our head canons come in. That's why this show is so brilliant, because similar to when you read a book, you can create this reality in your head of, what actually is happening while still experiencing and enjoying the story that's happening within this place that you can't fully comprehend. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yes.
Whew. I'm going to pass out. That was a lot for my brain.
Up next, we hear from fans and friends of the podcast. But first, a conversation about this episode's weather, which was Quiet Americans by Shearwater.
Wowie, wow, wow. I friggin' loved this song. It was giving me sexy vampire 80s synth music. Like, it should be like the new theme song for like a remake of like the Lost Boys. And I am here for it.
Agreed. I didn't realize Joseph plays this song a lot, and I didn't realize what it was at all. And then I was like, oh, I've heard this song so many times. And then when I heard it, I was like, oh, it's just good. So yeah, I learned a little bit about Shearwater. Shearwater is like kind of a big deal. They're a touring band. They're on the Sub Pop label. It's one guy is kind of the like main guy who's had different members throughout the years. And they're an Austin.
Is he the singer?
He's the singer. They're an Austin, Texas, New York City band. But they've like opened for Coldplay, Mountain Goats. They have no current tour dates right now, but then again, it is 2021. So, but yeah, this is off their 2016 album.
Well, I friggin' love it. It's a great song, and I would play this. Like, I'm literally adding this. That's why I'm looking down. I am literally going to add this to my playlist, my Spotify lists, because I think it rocks.
So it's in rotation officially.
Throw it in the rotation.
That's right.
Speaking of throwing it in the rotation, throw it in the oven, because it's time to bake this calzone.
Yes.
FanZone.
Calzone.
Stay right there. Good Morning Night Vale will return after a brief break.
Lately, I've been all over the place. Between touring, dog sitting, and traveling, my routine has become non-existent. Now that my travel schedule has slowed down, I need to get back to eating real food and not just grabbing what I can when I can. And Factor is making that easier for me. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes and require little to no prep and no cleanup. So even on the days when my schedule is completely out of whack, eating well is still achievable. Like today, I had 3 meetings and a client. By the time I was done, I was hungry and I just needed to eat. So I grabbed the Beurre Blanc filet mignon with Parmesan risotto and it was delicious. I was amazed at how tender it was and how flavorful the risotto was and saved me from having to pick something up quick. And in 2 minutes, I had something healthy, fresh, and delicious. So if you like fast, easy, and delicious meals, I think you would like Factor Meals too. Let's eat real. Head to factormeals.com/GMNV50OFF and use code GMNV50OFF to get 50% off and 1 free breakfast item per box for 1 year, while supplies last until 10/31/2026. That's code GMNV50OFF at factormeals.com. GMNV50OFF at factormeals.com. See website for more details.
All right. Eileen writes to us, "Hi, wonderful people. My name is Eileen, and I am a longtime listener to both Welcome to Night Vale and the morning talk show offshoot. Don't worry, I'm not writing in to start any shit. I do, however, have 2 headcanons to offer in response to your most recent episode, one about Night Vale and one about life in general. Is it still called a headcanon if you believe it about the real world? I guess it would just be called belief. Huh. Anyway, Night Vale first, because that is why we are all here. My headcanon, or mind canon, as it is more properly said, comes out of a recent discussion that Cecil, Old Woman Josie, and Earl Harlan were all children together, but for various reasons ended up different ages. I had something of an epiphany when one of you mentioned that Cecil and Earl were Boy Scouts together. As we all know, the Boy Scouts in Night Vale get into some spooky shit. And so now it is my belief that everything that happened to Earl and Cecil, Earl being frozen in time, and Cecil's horrifying experience with the mirror and subsequent investment of vocal authority, is the result of their experiences as Boy Scouts. This is the way that some mysterious power in Night Vale discovers likely boys who can be used to further its spooky, ooky goals. This may also be why so many of the people who question Night Vale's propaganda, like OW Josie, I love that Eileen has abbreviated Old Woman Josie as OW Josie. Anyway, back in. Like OW's Josie, Dana, Maureen, and Tamika are women because they do not go through the same indoctrination as the Boy Scouts do. Side note, was Steve ever in the Boy Scouts? My other thought regarding your Halloween-themed conversations about ghosts, particularly Meg's experience with Phantom Joseph and vice versa. I read a theory a few years back that what we experience as ghosts are actually just places where time thins and we can see through it. For example, if you have a little boy ghost jumping on the bed, that's actually some kid looking at you from 2 centuries ago, and he's experiencing a ghost who's telling him to stop it and go put his shoes away. In Meg's case, there was a moment where you simply slipped backward or forward in time, and you experienced a moment where Joseph came back to bed, but it wasn't the same moment you were living in. Not sure if I worded that clearly, but it tends to make me feel less scared of ghosts, as it means they are not dead people we're interacting with, just people who are alive at a different time. Would love to hear your thoughts on either canon or not, as long as you enjoy them. I enjoy this podcast very much and think you are all very cool kids. Kisses, consensually, of course. Eileen.
Well, consent granted, because I really liked that mind canon. Also, Meg has already said, for those of you who have been to live shows, she confessed to some of you that she is, in fact, a time traveler. So I believe that mind canon, I like that about ghosts. That's really interesting that they're just, we're just slipping through time. Maybe also we're just perceiving like a different dimension at one time. I kind of like that, Maybe your mind is so relaxed. I mean, you know how we only use like a part of our brain? What if like a little part, right? We don't even use like 20% of it,
I think we actually do use more of our brain than that. I think.
Oh, really? Okay, well, there's a big part of our brain that we don't use, right?
I think we were using it all.
I think so. No, they said.
I think that they were wrong.
Well, I'm going to say that I think if we can tap into certain parts of our brain, we'd be capable of more things than we think.
I agree that in the infinite possibilities of the human brain. But I also really love the theory that the Boy Scouts are what's making everything weird. and that the women don't have the indoctrination. So I really dig that mind canon. I think it's enlightened.
Yeah. And also to chip in what I believe is that Steve would have been in Boy Scouts, but would have been kicked out for either asking too many questions or challenging everything they were being taught. Because he's the only one who knows the truth, and you're not allowed to say the truth in Night.
He's not a Boy
I
Scout?
think he was in, but got kicked out.
I see, because he was asking too many questions.
Challenging everything.
Steve, you rascal. You young rascal.
He knows the truth.
Next up in the Calzone, we have Stella. Stella writes, "Hi, GMNV hosts." I almost said ghosts.
Ooh.
LOL. Spooky. I'm listening to the Monolith episode right now, and I've just discovered I've been pronouncing Michigan wrong my entire life. I'm from Scotland, and I've never been to America, so I've been pronouncing it hard CH. Michigan. Okay, yeah. I had no idea what the joke was. My mind is kind of blown right now. Michigan spelled out with a SH. Anyway, love the show, Stella. Stella, lots of people, if that's so interesting. If you just saw it, of course you would say Michigan because it's got a CH in it, and that's how we pronounce CHs. Are there other words where S just CH is pronounced with a S like that without SCH? Because like Schmidt,
French,
but there's right.
Yeah, like chanteuse,
Chicago.
Right.
Chicago.
Sure. But I mean, in the middle of a word. Oh, I guess in the middle. I don't know. Maybe. But Scotland, I love it. Thanks, Stella. That's great.
It's so good. We also, finally, in the FanZone Calzone, we have a piping hot voicemail from Jess. Let's see what Jess has to say.
Hello. Good morning, Night Vale cast. My name is Jess. I live in Michigan, and therefore my favorite episode ever of Good Morning Night Vale, well, Welcome to Night Vale, is Michigan. I love it because it's so funny that Cecil cannot figure out how to pronounce the name of my beautiful state, and I just think it's hilarious. I live in a really small town up in northern Michigan, and it has all of its own really unique little quirks, and I sometimes will find out something new about this town that I just moved to and think, that is so Night Valian, almost. Like, for example, everybody in this city, even though it has, like, a really famous ice cream restaurant, is obsessed with the local Dairy Queen. And, like, the day that Dairy Queen opens, like, people leave work early, and they have, like, the police directing traffic outside of Dairy Queen. And it just makes me think of, like, what would a Dairy Queen in Night Vale look like? Because I feel like it might have the same level of popularity. Disclaimer, our Dairy Queen is only open like April to September because I live in northern Michigan where it gets really, really cold. Thank you so much for everything that you make. I love it, and I can't wait to hear more. Bye.
Well, thank you, Jesk. No, I know it's Jess.
Yes, that was great.
That's
I have some
funny.
thoughts. Number one, I assume you meant ice cream parlor, but I almost hope you didn't. And there's a whole restaurant devoted to ice cream. There are a lot of different ways you can work ice cream into your body.
Ice cream pizza.
That'd be so good.
That is very much like a small town thing, which is when a chain comes in, it's such a big deal that the chain is there, that everyone will go to it, even if there's a great local option.
Also, DQ slaps.
Oh, my God. Give me Blizzards all day.
Oh, my God.
You don't ever have to turn the cup upside down. I get it. I bet it's nice and thick.
I don't like when they do that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't need that because I actually like when it gets a little runny around the outsides. That makes me super happy. What kind of Blizzard do you get?
I mean, I wouldn't kick peanut butter cup out of bed. I like some M&Ms in there. I think peanut butter cup actually. I like the combination of sweet and salty that you get there.
I agree. I used to get there used to be a Snickers one, but now they don't generally offer it anymore. So I do enjoy the banana split Blizzard, but instead of pineapple, I get caramel sauce. So then it's caramel, strawberry, and chocolate with banana in it. Oh, that slaps. What do you get, Meg?
I haven't had DQ in like a very, very long time. I want to say that I would get like a Butterfinger one if they were to have that, because I like Butterfinger kind of blitzed up with ice cream. I think it's like really good texturally. But yeah, I haven't had many opportunity for a DQ. Unfortunately, there's not one by me.
I mean, neither have I, but sometimes I fantasize about it. Like if I like drive, I'm not as you well know, none of us, we're not like crazy fast food people. Like I prefer like a diner or restaurant style thing. But sometimes I remember the youth of Dairy Queen. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like this hot summer and like you go to the DQ and you get like a kind of melting ice cream thing and it makes you really happy. That's the lore that Dairy Queen holds for me.
Dairy Queen like in Night Vale. I mean,
Full
the
of
Invisible
spiders.
Pie Blizzard.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a holiday special. That doesn't happen. You can't get that. That's
Definitely
seasonal.
And the season is March.
I think it would be like you go there to plumb the deepest recesses of your soul and also get a dilly bar.
I think Dairy Queen would be actually a place where there's an actual queen, like some sort of like tiny queen that you have to like submit yourself
Worship
to.
the dairy at the altar of the Dairy Queen.
Exactly. Bring a bloodstone and you also leave with a jelly bar.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Reminder, if you need some Good Morning Night Vale on your body or in your kitchen, we have t-shirts and tea towels that are all lovely and are for you to enjoy and will make your life better. Our next episode is episode number 100. Toast! Until then, good morning, Night Vale. Good morning.
Good Morning Night Vale is a Night Vale Presents production. It is hosted by Symphony Sanders, Meg Bashwiner, and Hal Lublin. It is edited by Felicia Dominguez and mixed by Vincent Cacchione. It is produced by Meg Bashwiner. Theme music by Disparition. Special thanks to our fans who submitted their thoughts this week. Leave us a voicemail at 929-277-2050 or email us at info@goodmorningnightfield.com to share your theories and ask questions or to wish us a happy 100 episodes. This show is powered by our patrons like Robert Nielsen, Howard Owen Lars II, James Lee, Kathy Fink, and happy birthday to Q40A. If you are interested in supporting this show in exchange for lots of fun, exclusive, insider hyper cool kid content, check us out at patreon.com/goodmorningnightVale. For more info on this show, go to goodmorningnightVale.com and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at Night Vale Chat. Special thanks to Joella Knapp, Jeffrey Craner, and Joseph Fink. The calzone ingredient of the week is 1 tray of chicken parm that miraculously lasts for 8 days.